you just quickly mentioned this YouTube video where it was do something different.
Break the cycle.
I reposted that one. I really like that one because Dan was saying that every week he does the same thing. He just went over it. And then, first of all, this video was like art. It was beautiful, Dan. It was Dan just saying like his routine and saying do something different. And then just some cool music played. And it just showed him like shooting hoops and like going on a run and like reading in nature. It was just like almost corny, but then it was like very peaceful and art, you know? And it's just, and the thing I liked about it too is that like you could have tweeted that out, do something different. This week I played basketball, I read outside, and that could have been condensed into like a tweet, you know? And that's how I knew that you were like doing this video for yourself and that this is the video that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because you took your time with it. You put some music to it. You know, you obviously set up like a camera in like several different places.
Different
like,
weeks too.
And like, you know, you didn't need to do all that. But I could tell that you were doing it for your own enjoyment. Like it didn't matter to you if no one else watched this video. Because there was a point where I was like, why do I need to sit here and watch this video? You know, like, Dan could have, like, once the music started, I already had the message, right? Do something different. Like, if anything, I should pause the video and go do something different instead of watching your video, you know? I obviously kept watching it, but I just like the fact that I could tell the style of this video was, like, for yourself. Like, this meant something to you. And that's why I stayed and watched it, you know? And, like, I think it was something I'll remember. It's definitely was more impactful than a tweet. You know, like, just because it could have been condensed doesn't mean it should have. Like, it doesn't mean that was the best way to get that point across. Like, you know?
Right.
To create that, like, little movie. It was like a movie, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty fun to make.
Like, a lot of YouTube videos, they're like, hey, guys, what's up? And then it's like they clip out all the space, the air, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I did. And it's just like people want that constant stream of information, you know, in their face, and they don't really necessarily enjoy a video like that anymore, which is like casual music playing in the background as much, you know? They don't. They want 10-second videos, you know? They want it
TikTok
faster.
style videos.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, like you could have taken all those videos and made them 2 seconds each.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. This is what I did this week. You know what I'm saying? And people on TikTok would have been like, word, got it, you know?
And then like, on to the next one, and then they'll just forget about it, you know?
Exactly. But like, no, like if you really wanted to like consume this message correctly, you really need to think about, you know, and that I felt like it was more appropriate to like lengthen that video out and let people think about what they're going to be doing different this week instead of getting caught into their you know, similar spiral as usual, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was pretty fun to make.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to showcase like what you can do with your time and like how it can be fun, how you can experience things that you didn't think you would have been able to with your time if you just allocate it differently. And they're all like normal things. Like I was skating, I ran, played basketball, read, but just like doing something different is very therapeutic in a way and just like reminds you of like what you can be doing in life and like like all the enjoyment that you can get out of it. And another thing is just going back to your roots too. You know, like some people watching the video might not have played basketball in like 2 years. Like, oh shit, I should play basketball tomorrow, you know, or like going for a run. I mean, it's just like, it's all simple things that I did, but like, even though they were minimal, they really did have a big impact and like reminded me on like a lot of things in life that I kind of put on the shelf and didn't do for a long time.
I feel like when you do something different too, it helps the way you like remember a time period or remember something.
Exactly, yeah.
When I look back on like my time at MicroStrategy, a lot of those days and weeks and months kind of mold together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a sea of like, I went into the office, I did the same thing, I fixed a similar problem, and I talked to the same people. And none of those days like stand out.
Exactly. That's why I did this.
And sometimes it's sad. Like, I'll be living a day that's similar to all my other days, and I'll just think to myself, like, I'm going to forget this day. Like, this day is going to get washed over in a sea of other days.
I have the same thoughts.
A lot of days at MicroStrategy, I'd just be sitting there with my friends on a break, and I would just be thinking, like, we do this same thing every day. Like, I'm just not, this is not going to stand out to me a year from now, you know? It just makes me sad, you know? And so I think doing something different now each of those days are going to stand out to you. You know,
Exactly.
You're going to remember
like,
that week. You're going to remember that feeling of like, wow, I haven't used this skateboarding skill in a while, you know? Because right after the pandemic, they started opening up gyms again. I started playing basketball for the first time, and I wasn't good at it or whatever. But that time period really stands out to me. I don't play basketball anymore, but just for like a month, I just played a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
And I remember that very distinctly because it wasn't just the same workout routine that I usually do, you know? And I'm like, whoa. And so, you know, yeah, I like love my life right now in Florida, but it's very consistent. And I might not remember it as distinctly as if I switch it up and, you know, make sure I'm doing something that I'm going to remember.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing something very important in life, like, it might not be memorable, unfortunately. Like, the everyday grind, you know, is not as memorable as even a slightly different variation that might just have no meaning or purpose to it. But
just a slight tweak can really make a big difference. And when I look back on all those weeks, I've been doing it since like before after Christmas. I think it's been like right after Christmas I started doing it, and like each one of those weeks I can think back and remember that specific week. Whereas before Christmas I would just be like, nah, there was no change at all in every week, so it all felt the same. Can't remember anything.
I mean, yeah.
Like...
Imagine if when we die, we just get to keep our memories. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me, too. Maybe you just get to relive your memories, you know, for forever. You just jump between each one, you know? I don't know what happens when I die, but I know that I've lost a lot of memories along the way. You know what I'm saying? Just doing unmemorable shit. Maybe the point to life is to have as many memorable days so that when you do die, you have a bigger catalog of things to watch, you know? I mean, that might be just eternity. Like, okay... You know, I wonder if you get to just kind of like zap into different days, you know? Like right now I could be dead, you know, and you don't remember being dead, but I was like, "Oh, I want to remember that day with Dan," and I'm here right now, you know. And I'm talking to you because you know what? We're recording this shit right now and we're making a memory. Like
exactly.
Even if for some reason I forgot this conversation, I'm going to watch it again and then remember it. So like today, that's why I get excited about things like this. I'm like, I know for sure I'm doing a memorable thing today. Like this is so exciting, you know? And if I die, I'm going to be able to like experience this one. But yesterday, I don't know about yesterday. The day before, I don't know about the day before. I might not be able to experience those days when I die.
It's so weird how it works like that.
Yeah.
Like how selective it really is. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, what the hell? Like, it's like our brain chooses what to remember and like based on the significance or just the fact that it's a variation. But it's just like interesting how the brain works where we just don't have any idea like why or how that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I do know.
Like, what?
Someone was saying like they don't trust like eyewitness testimonies because your memory is not as accurate as you think it is. You know, it shouldn't hold up in a court of law basically, because people think they remember certain things that are not true, or they do remember things that, or they think things didn't happen that did happen. It's just and then there's just so many parts of my timeline that are just like a sea of like the same. You know what's weird too is when like you get a certain smell and then it's like
that happens all the time.
Like, I remember all these other things. Yeah, certain
like
senses.
Why is it smell though? You know what I mean? Like that's such a random sense to bring back memories. You know what I mean? Whereas like sound would make. I mean, for like music, it's the same way. But for some reason, smell always hits different. Like it always brings it back so much more vividly, and it's just much more surreal. It's like holy shit! It just brings this wave of nostalgia that's like. That you don't feel like with any other sense or any other time, you know? You
love nostalgia.
Yeah.
You're nostalgic for nostalgia, bro.
I'm actually watching Lost again.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this clip of the Drive Fitness program. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are interested in full episodes of the podcast or downloading our app, Drive Fitness, I'll provide everything you need in the description below. Thanks, guys. Peace.